So I've just been through my seed boxes and there is an awful lot of seeds that I'm planting out this year. All of these seeds here need to get planted. The tomatoes, onion varieties, I'm trying the lettuce varieties out, I've got herbs to do, and I'm growing some flowers out this year. This looks hugely overwhelming and I am not sure that I'm comfortable with the amount of seeds that I have to plant out here. But I'm going to get in today and I'm going to get some of this done. Some of this is direct seeding, so it's going straight into the garden bed. Some of this needs to go into pots because it's not time to put them out in the garden yet. There are some of these that will wait a little while before it's time for them to go out. But yeah, so today's task looks extremely daunting, but I'm going to get out there and I'm going to get it done. Hey guys, welcome back to Little Patch. Today is the day that I'm going to get my seedlings done. Spring has sprung and it is definitely time to get started in getting our seeds into some dirt so that we can have some seedlings ready to go when summer actually starts. I have to admit I'm about 2 weeks behind getting my seeds in. I was supposed to get them in at the beginning of September. Didn't happen, so today I am making a big effort to get in as many of the seeds that I possibly can. I'll show you the soil, what I'm going to do in the way of soil, and then we'll get into showing you guys how I actually do my seeds into the soil. In my cart here I have some compost that was in a garden bed that didn't actually really get used last season. It was pretty much just weeds. I've pulled them out. There is a few roots and bits and pieces in there. That's not a problem because that will break down as I go. So this I'm using as a filler and making my bagged soil go further. So I'm using a bagged soil this time round. I found that the compost can be a little bit chunky and thick that I buy by the trailer load, so I'm just using this one. This is a Bunnings brand. I think it was between $3 and $4 a bag. So it's a tomato and veggie mix with Blood and Bone, which is the fertilizer that I use. So I decided on the medium range, not the merely expensive ones, to keep costs down, and to the really cheap ones I found it didn't really work very well. I lost a lot of seedlings due to it. So hopefully this specific one will actually work really well. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put, I'm not sure how many bags yet, whether there'll be 2 or 3 bags maybe. We'll see how much I'm going to put in here and mix it all through. Now the other thing that I'm using is I have here a bucket full of coffee grounds that I have collected from work. Coffee grounds really adds a great amount of nutrients to the soil. I use it in the seedlings to help them along. I also, once I take the seedlings out of their bucket, the pots that they're in, that'll just go into the garden as well, so that whatever's left in there will get spread right through the garden. Sometimes I will sprinkle the coffee grounds if I've got lots of them, which I do at the moment, through the garden beds as well to help them as well. Now when you're using coffee grounds, make sure that they are used coffee grounds or spent coffee grounds, because once they've used them, all the acidity that's in them comes out, and there's a small amount of acidity still left in them, but as long as you are not spreading them like really thick through your gardens, they are perfectly fine to be using. Now I'm going to show you what pots I'm going to be using. These are my famous little kitty litter trays. So I have a nice little stack of them here, and I went this morning and I bought a few more kitty litter trays as well. If you can get them when they're damaged, so these ones with this tiny little bit of damage here, I got these for $1 each, and instead of $3 a tray. So there was only 3 damaged ones there this morning, so I got 3 trays for $1, and then I paid $3 each for the extra trays, just so that I had a few more trays, because there's a few more things that I'm putting in this year from last year. The other things I'm going to be using is I'm going to get these used up. The disposable paper pots, going to get them used up, and I'm going to use a few of these little baggies and get some of the bigger plants like zucchinis and stuff like that into these as well. So this is a pack of 100 from memory, and that should go a fairly long way. So I'm going to get in now, and I'm going to show you how I put one of these trays together. So but quickly, so these are a kitty litter tray. Like I said, they're normally retail at $3 from a Red Dot shop, but I will generally buy the ones with damage in them. So this has got a little crack, some of them have got bigger cracks, and I've been getting them for 50 cents to $1. Now you can go to Bunnings and buy a seedling tray similar to this. Won't be nowhere near as deep as this, and I can guarantee you it's going to be at least twice the cost of these. Even at $3, they are pretty cheap to be using these seedling trays. These are seedling trays. Now what I do is I just go into hubby's shed when he's not looking, shh, and I'll grab the drill and I will drill in a whole bunch of holes. The bottom does get a little bit cracked if you're not careful when you do it, but that will just add some more drainage to it. So I drill a fair few holes in here. There's probably 15 to 20 holes in the bottom of the tub. So, but that will give me adequate drainage without losing too much of the moisture as well. So. So with that, guys, let's get in and get some of these seeds put into the trays so that we can get our summer garden up and running this year. So these tomatoes, they're only going to sit in here till they're probably about this big, so a 1/2 to 3/4 depth of one of these trays is going to be plenty of root space for them. So now I just basically, I do this with all the pots depending on the size of the seed to how much goes in here. So the smaller seeds that I know are going to be retransplanted in probably 4 to 6 weeks into a different container, I'll only do a shallow amount of soil, and then any of the bigger ones, because they need the extra space, will go into a deeper. I'm going to start with the Tummy Tippy tomatoes, these little tiny cherry tomato ones. This packet contains 75 seeds, so the entire seed packet is going to go in here. For the $2 or so that I spent on the packet, making sure that I get enough of the plants is worth putting the whole packet in. So I find the easiest way to do these little seeds is just to tip them into my hand and then just sprinkle them around the pot. These are quite easy to see, these ones. Now the rule of thumb for how far they go in is generally about 2/3 of the size of the actual seed itself. And because this soil is quite chunky, I am going to sieve a lot of it out, of the stuff out, because when there is chunks sitting on top of a seed, it generally tends to stop the seed from growing. So just sifting out some soil helps. It is a little time consuming to do this, but it is definitely well worth it. The other way you can do it is you can just sift a whole heap of it into a bucket, like on my ice cream container here, and so then you've got it all ready to go. So then once I've got enough soil on top of my seeds, I will just give them a little pat down and spread it, make sure it's nice and flat and even, and that none of the seeds have come up. And that is ready to get some water. So I won't water them until I take them down to the greenhouse. So I'm going to put them on the shelves up the back here until they're ready to go. But there's one more important thing that I need to remember to do first. I have a really bad habit of forgetting to tag my plants. So just one of these little tag label things. These ones are plastic. You can use pop sticks, but I find that with the pop sticks, the pen generally washes off of them. I find these are really good though. So these are Tiny Tom, and I'm not worrying about writing the tomato, because I know that the Tiny Toms, because obviously there'll be a tomato. And I'm just going to put in the month, which is September, Sep 21, just so that I know that I planted these in September. Actually, I might put the date, which is the 13th. Then I know how long they've been in there for. The main reason I do the date on them is so that in about 14 days or so, if they haven't started sprouting, I know there's a good chance that they're not going to sprout, and then I'll need to do them again. So this pot is ready to go. I'm going to put some of the yellow squash into these as well. These are a bigger seed. There's 15 in a packet. Now with the bigger seeds, I generally tend to fill these little pots all the way up, give them a bit of a squish in, just so that I can get that little bit more soil in there, so that they have more soil for their roots. And once I put the seeds in here, I will basically just push them down. Now, like I said, rule of thumb is 2/3 of the seed. These are quite a big seed, these ones. But I find that even if they're not all the way into 2/3, they will still grow. Do this, make sure I don't miss any of them. So I'm only putting one seed in these because they are a very big seed. And then I just push them down and make sure that they're covered. Ideally the middle is better than the side, but sometimes they don't cooperate and they end up on the side. And not forgetting our tag. That's pretty easy to do it that way, guys. These trays are awesome. The seedlings will grow in there. I will do update videos on the what's growing at Little Patch playlist, so go to my channel and check that out as the coming months and weeks that the seedlings get growing. When you've got your seedlings in here, you need to come down twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon, And if it's a really hot spring day, you might want to come down and check on them 3 times a day. So my greenhouse, I'm going to shut it up now so that the temperatures stay quite warm in here overnight. And then in the mornings, on the days that the sun is shining, I'm going to have to come and open it up so it doesn't get too hot and cook the seeds. Now, watering these guys, you need to make sure that they are kept moist, not soaking, dripping wet, but moist every single day. You need to check on them twice a day. If they look like they're drying out, get the water on them. And so don't be shy in keeping these guys nice and moist 24/7. And hopefully in the next 7 to 14 days, sometimes 3 weeks, we will have a whole heap of seedlings growing in the greenhouse. I just thought I would finish this video off showing you the greenhouse as it is today, and you'll hear the retics on in here. So I'm just going to give you a quick video, show you what I've gotten in here today, and then I will keep you up to date in the What's Growing at Little Patch playlist. So check out my channel and have a look at that. And don't forget, I'll put a couple of videos up here for you to check out as well. And the subscribe button will be up there as well. So guys, I have had a great day. I've had a great day today getting all these seedlings in. It does take quite some time to get them in, but I am very happy about it. So I will see you on the next one. So there's about 22 of the kitty trays in here. There is still room for some more. And unfortunately my tomato is getting fully wet, so I'm going to have to take out a couple of the retics, one here and one over here, so she doesn't get wet anymore. But I may have to actually take that out because I may need this rack.